Would you like to dynamically create sales funnels in under 30 seconds using both AI and N8N? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to do just that. The first thing we need to do is generate a template for our sales funnel. All of our sales funnels are going to have the same format, but the difference is the content of the funnel is going to change. In order to build this template, we're going to be using Bolt.new. After that, we need to host the template somewhere, and for that, we're going to be using GitHub in combination with Vercel. And then finally, we need to AI generate new pages, and for that, we're going to be using N8N. So the idea here is we'll fill out a form just like this, and within 30 seconds, we'll have a sales funnel just like that. So to get started, let's go ahead and go to Bolt.new. The link is in the description below. After that, I have a quick starter prompt right here, which basically says I'd like a sales funnel built in React, and I want the colors to be both blue and white to build trust. And then I outline the sections that I'd like for the Kickstarter page. So let's go ahead and copy that, paste that in, and see what Bolt does for us. All right, so here's the page Bolt created for us. Now it looks okay. We need some changes and some tweaks. So the first thing I would say is this section could be a lot better. This section looks good. This section looks pretty good. This section, we could have photos of our previous clients. Here, these could be collapsible and have more questions. This last one is good, and I think we could add 2 or 3 more sections in there. So let's go ahead and start from the top down. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, can you make the hero section look even better? So let's see what it does. All right, and that hero section looks way better. I'm loving it. We've got this percentage here. The image now moves. We've got this trusted by X amount of companies. This is pretty cool. Looks a lot better. All right, so now this section looks good. This section looks good. This section here, I believe we should have a CTA in between comprehensive solution and what our clients say. So we're going to add a CTA right there, and it didn't make the CTA. Sometimes Bolt does this where it has issues making new code. So let's say, all right, now let's see what the new CTA section looks like. Ooh, that looks beautiful. That's a really nice CTA section, actually. I'm quite surprised about how that turned out. That was really good. Now, before this gets too complicated, I'm going to ask it to turn each section into a component. Now, what is a component? For those of you guys who don't know how to code React, a component is something that you can reuse later. This is going to make it really easy for us to plug it into N8N, make a new folder, add some new text, and spit out a brand new page, okay? So if we look here on the code, everything, the whole page basically is under this app.tsx file right here. This is all of the homepage content. Then all of the page CSS is right here on index.css. Now, there is no CSS to show right now because we're using Tailwind. And so if you go to app.tsx, you can see here, the class names are technically the CSS. And that's all Tailwind. It's pre-made CSS package for styling. Guys don't really need to know this. What you do need to know is that every single section here is technically its own thing. So you can see hero section right here goes all the way from there to there. And that's beautiful, but we can make that into a component where we can reuse and then build a site like Lego blocks saying, hey, I want this section, I don't want that section, I want this section twice with 2 different photos and different text. So let's go ahead and message Bolt and we'll say, hey. So I say, hey, can you take each section and make it into a component where the texts, titles, and images are passed as props. Now, props are variables and React that you can put into the components so you can change them dynamically. Again, don't really need to know the theory behind this. All you really need to know is that it works. All right, and as you can see, the website looks exactly the same, but the code is entirely different. So now, instead of having everything under the app.tsx, all we have is a component with the text that we want. So now we have Lego blocks and we can start to build out pages as we need them. You can see that each component here like this is all the information that you need for the homepage section. See up here you've got your props. These are the information that's going to change. The text, the images. We're going to use AI to generate this, right? And then down here it's got all the HTML and CSS, and it inserts these props like the title, the badge text, the subtitle into these different locations in the HTML so that the page can be dynamically created with different content every time if you wanted. This will also make it a lot easier for Bolt to start managing these pages as we make our tweaks for the sales funnel. The next thing I would say is I believe that what our clients say section can be a lot better. So let's go ahead and upgrade that. So I said upgrade the what our clients say section to also include photos of previous clients. Be sure to include those photos as props. Make it beautiful. And let's check that out and let's see. That's looking much more beautiful, although we're missing a logo here. Other than that, I think it's looking pretty good. Let's fix that logo. There's a logo missing in the what our clients say section. Fix it. All right, let's go ahead and check it out. And the logo is still missing now. In fact, there's 2 logos missing. But let me go ahead and fix it for you guys. I'll show you how to do that real quick. So we'll go into our social proof section. We'll check it out. So we've got these different props. We have the company logo with an SRC and an alt, right? So we go back to app TSX, social proof. The first one is working, correct? Let's double check. Yes. So let's just copy and paste the second and third one. So we have this company logo from here to here. We're going to copy. We're going to go down to the second one, paste, and we'll go down to the third one and we'll paste. And then click Control S to save, go back to preview, and now we can see they are finally working. Beautiful. Now, I don't know about you, but I think we need 2 more sections before what our clients say, and then we need to fix the FAQ, fix the footer, add a header bar and a footer bar, and then I believe we're good to go. So let's go ahead and do that. So add 2 new sections after the join 500 plus growing company CTA section, outlining 3 to 5 pain points each. Let's go. All right, so now let's check out and see what the new sections look like. This is a red section, interesting, and that one's a yellow section. Okay, zoom out and see what they look like. I don't like the red and yellow, so I'm gonna tell it to switch it out to blue. I also think that the sections look kind of the same, so let's change that. All right, I said, can you change the market challenges that hold you back to be more blue? Also the operational bottleneck section, let's change it so it looks different from the section above it. Make it look beautiful. Let's see what it does. All right, let's check it out. That looks beautiful. That could sell. This one looks good too. Now they look totally different. I like this one. It's a lot more dark. Logos could be better, but we're going to change that using AI later. These 2 logos got broken again for whatever reason. We'll go back and touch it up at the end. I don't want to fix it a bunch of times and have the AI override it. So the next thing, frequently asked questions section, I believe, and the what our clients say section, I think it could be a slightly different color, and the frequently asked questions section we need to fix. Then we need to fix the Calendly section. So let's do it. Can you make what our clients say section more blue? All right, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, see, that looks a little bit better. Logo now looks kind of weird, but we'll be able to fix it. In fact, we can just remove these logos. I don't think they need to be there. All right, now the frequently asked questions. Let's fix that. Make the FAQ section toggleable or collapsible. Add 3 more questions for a total of 6. All right, it's looking good. We only have 3 questions there, and the formatting's a little weird, but it's okay. Let's go ahead and add more. Oh, there's 3 more questions here. That is interesting. I wonder why it took so long for that to load. That's a weird thing. Let's reload the page and see what happens. Now they're all showing. Interesting. Maybe it was just a loading thing. They are looking quite good though. I like them. All right, now let's change the Calendly section. Change the Calendly section to include a space for the Calendly calendar embed object. Let's go. All right, let's see what it does. Looking a little bit better. For some reason, every time I say make it beautiful, it turns out awesome. So I'm just going to say make it beautiful. And let's see what it does. See, that looks good. That looks a lot better. Oh, yeah, we're looking good. Let's full screen this real quick. This honestly is starting to look like a pretty good sales funnel. This is solid. Imagine the Calendly here. FAQ has a little bit of white space. I think that section could be a little bit better. This section looks beautiful. Just delete these logos here. This looks awesome. This looks really good. This looks good. This section could be a little bit better on full screen. So let's fix this section and fix the FAQ just a little bit. If you guys think that building this sales funnel is a bit complicated and you'd like a little bit more support, I am hosting a free community, so please be sure to check out the link down below. Let's go ahead and move on with the tutorial. Can you upgrade our comprehensive solution to have 5 or 6 items and look a bit more beautiful? Let's see what it does. All right, now it seems like we have a problem and it says there is not an export. Now I know how to fix this programmatically, but you guys probably do not. So let's go ahead and see what happens if we attempt the fix. Should be an easy fix though. It's just one line of code that they forgot to put at the end of the file. There we go. This is the line of code that was missing. Export default app. Ooh, that looks a lot better. I think that there's too many items now, but I believe I can fix that myself. So let's go into the code. Let's go our comprehensive solution. We'll go app.tsx. We'll scroll up this section right here. Solutions equals solutions. Where are the solutions coming from? They're coming from here. Cool. So I believe we can just delete 3 of these with the comma. Make sure you delete the comma. Save that. Preview. So we delete these. We save it. Let's refresh the page. Maybe that's why. Still has a bunch. So let's go ahead and check out. Let's just ask Bolt to fix this. Okay, now that's looking better. Now let's full screen it and see what that looks like. Yeah, see, that looks beautiful. That's exactly what we want. This is cool. The only thing here that I'm starting to notice is we have a 3-section, a 3-section, a 3-section, and a 3-section, one after another. I mean, this is a 3-section, but it's like different, right? I believe maybe we should kill this and it'll break up the monotony of the page. So I'm gonna jump in and say to delete this. And that's better, see, because that kind of breaks up the monotony of so many triple sections, right? And then the FAQ section just needs to be a little bit better, so let's upgrade it. All right, let's check it out and see what it did. Ooh, now it has a search bar. Don't think we really need the search bar. Honestly, I love these icons too, but we don't want to add support to the site. So let's tell it, let's remove the search bar and remove the icons and see what happens. And let's see what it looks like. Scroll all the way down. Yes, see, this looks better. Even just with that slight background texture makes a huge difference. Let's check it out on the full screen. Yeah, see, that slight background texture makes a huge difference. And then put Calendly right here, and I believe we are good to go. So now let's do a little bit of cleanup. But what I'm going to tell it is I'm going to ensure that all text, headers, button text, button links, images are all props for every component. Why? Because we want this to scroll all the way down, which we can program that. I'll show you how to do that really easily. We want this to go straight to YouTube, right? So let's go. In fact, we don't even want this to go to YouTube. So let's change this. Before we do this, what we want to do is we actually want to remove that button real quick. We'll make sure that every single button linked to the bottom of the page where there's a Calendly, and then we'll make sure that the props are good to go so N8N can dynamically create the information. And then we need to do one last change and we're good. Beautiful. Now let's check it out. Cleaner look, primary button. It looks good. So now let's ensure that all buttons go to the bottom of the page. Make sure that all buttons on the page make it auto scroll to the Calendly section. All right, let's check it out. Beautiful. This also, I mean, this button doesn't even need to be there. We can remove that button. Start your growth journey. That goes straight to Calendly. That's beautiful. And yeah, it looks like we're looking good. Let's remove this button. Remove book your call now button on the Calendly section. All right, cool. Let's check it out. And it's looking good. Now let's finally paste that in. Ensure that all text, headers, button text, images are all props for every component. It says, would you like me to continue with the remaining components? Yes, do all the components. Oh, looks like we got 4 problems. What are they? It won't show them. Let's just attempt to fix. And let's double check that all the sections still look the same. Beautiful. Now let's check the code. Now we have each one in its own component, which is good. Let's check the app. And now we should be able to change these texts here and modify the page content. Oh, and it even passes the function here. That's beautiful. Got the images, the SRCs. We're not really going to change the images much, just the description. sections. Here's the next section. I think we're good to go. So now the last thing we need to do is we need to make it to where it will dynamically create pages. Every time we add a new folder with a new page in it, with new text, it'll automatically create that page as slash whatever the folder name is, so that when we push it to GitHub, it will automatically update to the server and we'll have new sales funnels every single time. So the way we're going to do that is like this. All right, so I said I would like you to go through and create dynamic routes, whereby if I add a new folder with a new index.tsx file, it will create a new route automatically for me. Don't really need to know what that means. All you need to know is that Bolt can do it for you, so you're good to go. All right, so it says it created dynamic routes. There we go. Now it's loaded. The page looks almost the same. It looks slightly broken in some spots. Really just this section right here, which is the customer section. So I'll just let it know that it's broken. Also, the frequently asked questions section is slightly broken too. Other than that, it looks good. So let's go ahead and tell it. The testimonials in the FAQ section is slightly broken. Can you fix them? All right, it says that it fixed the section. So let's see. It does look fixed. It does look fixed. Well, right on. Now, I said that I wanted to remove these logos, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into code and we're going to go into index. This is our first page, right? And here we're going to scroll down to the social proof section, and where it says company logo, we're going to remove it, but also make sure to remove the comma right there. Comma, company logo. Make sure to remove that, okay? We have to do it 3 times because there's 3 of them. I believe the next one is up here. Now this will break the site, but in order to fix it, we're going to go over to social proof section here. We're going to delete this prop right here. We don't need this. And we're going to scroll down where it says company logo and company alt in this image right here. We're just going to delete this. Actually, it had code right there to saying if it doesn't exist, which is cool. Either way, we don't want it. Click save. Now it should work. And we can see we did delete those successfully, which is beautiful. Any last minute tweaks? Just a quick rundown of the page. This operational bottlenecks text is white, needs to be black. I believe I can fix that myself. So let's check that out. Let's go to over here, operationals. Oh, it's trying to do a gradient. So I'm telling it to remove all gradients from headings and to fix the operational issues heading to be black. Beautiful. So let's check it out. It looks like we're looking good. All right, I think this page is ready to go. Now I want it to make a quick example page. So now every time you add a new file in this folder, it will dynamically create a brand new page. So essentially what we can do is we can take this index.tsx and we can duplicate it and change the text. And every time it's a brand new page with a brand new slash, that we can point to a different Calendly to do whatever it is we want. And as you can see, if we go here /sales, we have a brand new page. Now, of course, we don't really need that page, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. That being said, and of course, it couldn't find the page, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Really quickly, I'd like to test this Calendly URL to make sure that it works. So I'm going to go ahead and pop one in. All right, so I'm telling it to add this for the Calendly embed. I copy and pasted the Calendly embed code here with the same blue, white, and black, and I'm telling it to make the link changeable in the props. Now let's check the Calendly section and see what it looks like. Oh, it says it's blocked because I don't think we can load it inside this web page, but we can see that it's trying to actually embed the Calendly. So I believe once we deploy, it is good to go. So now the next thing we're going to do is we need to get this onto GitHub. So let's go ahead and download this, open it up, open up the project, see what it looks like. We don't want this Bolt folder, so we're going to delete that. Other than that, we're looking good. This is exactly what we need. What we're going to do is we're going to go to github.com. We're going to create a new repository. We're going to call it Dynamic Sales Funnel. Make this one public for you guys, so you guys can check out the code whenever you want. I'm going to add a readme. I'll mess with it later. GitHub ignore. Let's put React or Node. There we go. Choose a license. Let's go MIT. And then create repository. Beautiful. The easiest way for me to do this is using GitHub Desktop. So you guys can upload GitHub Desktop, or you can manually upload the files here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go GitHub Desktop here. Now I'm going to go File, Clone Repository. We're going to go for the dynamic sales funnel, click Clone, and we're going to click Fetch Origin. Now we're going to click Show in Explorer. It's going to bring up this page right here. Now we literally take everything here and we just drop it in there. It already has get ignored, so let's just replace that. We're good to go. Go back over here and we're going to call main commit and click commit to main. We're going to click push origin and let's refresh the page. And now we can see we have it all beautifully hosted in GitHub. So now we're ready to start the next part of the tutorial. All right, now let's go ahead and get the website deployed. So in order to do that easily, let's go to Vercel.com. Let's go ahead and import a project. Let's install Vercel on our account. Install, put an auth code. All right, now let's go ahead and pick the dynamic sales funnel right here. Click import, and it's already got Vite ready to go, and click deploy. Now let's go ahead and add a custom domain to our project. So I like to use Cloudflare for this. So let me quickly buy a domain for you guys and we'll get that set up. So I got a domain, it's Horizon-Dev.net. So let's go ahead and hook it up to Cloudflare and then connect that to Vercel so everything is deployed correctly. So let's first go to Cloudflare, go ahead and click log in, continue with your account. So now that we're logged into Cloudflare, let's click add a domain and let's type it in and click continue. We're going to scroll down and click on free, click continue, and we have this record here which we don't actually need. We're going to delete that and click continue to activation. Okay, we have to update our name servers, so let's click here. Beautiful. So go over to DNS, then go to records, scroll down, and here are the two name servers we need, so go ahead and copy those. Let's go over to the domain on your domain hosting provider. Make sure that they're the same. I already added those just like that, and click save, and you should be good to go. And now you can see that we are active, so we are good to go. All right, now it's time to add the domain to Vercel, so let's go ahead and click add on the domains under settings here. Let's go Horizon-Dev.net, type that in, production, no redirect main, click add domain, select the first option, click add, click configure automatically, this will open Cloudflare, and click authorize, and it says Horizon-Dev is working, but www.horizon-dev is not working, so let's click configure automatically, click authorize on that, and give it a moment, and it looks like we are good to go. So let's go ahead and check out the website. All right, so it took a minute, about 5 minutes, but the DNS did propagate, so everything is working properly, good to go. We have SSL and everything in place. Obviously, we don't want this text, and we can see Calendly is kind of working, but it's not quite the embed, so we might have to jump in and fix that. But now, every single edit that we do on the GitHub will automatically be pushed to the live site within about 5 to 10 minutes. So that means that we can now jump over to N8N and start dynamically creating sales funnels to do ads. So let's do it. All right, so jumping straight over to N8N, let's get our credentials connected. I imagine for this workflow, we'll most likely only need Claude and GitHub. So let's create a new workflow. Let's go ahead and drop in any GitHub node, and let's create a new credential right here. We're going to use the access token. Go ahead and click open docs. Let's go ahead and go to github.com/settings/tokens, link in the description below. Let's generate a new token for a general use classic token. Wonderful. And for the expiration, I'm going to put no expiration, which technically is not ideal. I'm going to give it full access for all of that stuff. And I think we're good. It gives us full control of the repo. There's some other things here just in case. But let's click generate token, put a note, click generate token, copy this, and then go back over to N8N. Let's pop that token in, put the username, click save, and connection was tested successfully. Let's retry. Looks like we're good to go. Now we need to add Claude A. So let's go to AI agent right here. Let's jump out of that, click chat model and click Anthropic. Then let's go ahead and create a new connection. Now I've already done this, but I'll still show you how. Go ahead and go to anthropic.com/API, link in the description below. Click start building, log in. Beautiful. Now go ahead and go to get API keys, click create key, call it whatever you want, click add, copy that baby, paste it in here, click connect, and you should be good to go. So to start out, we are going to build a quick form where we can fill out some information. Based on that information, it will dynamically change all of the text on the website and change the Calendly link to a different offering, one of our choosing. So let's go ahead and click Add Step, and let's click on Form Submission. Now let's give our form a name. We'll call it Sales Funnel Generate. This form is to help dynamically create sales funnels. Let's put company name as a text. We'll add another field that's required. Let's put URL. So this is going to be slash the name of the new page. So it could be like slash holiday sale, for example. Now let's ask, what are you selling? Let's add another one. Let's put one here for additional info, and let's add one last one for Calendly link. Beautiful. And that one's required. This one's not required. Actually, let's just put them all as required. Beautiful. So now let's just test this step real quick. It'll bring up a form. Let's put in a name, Horizon Dev LLC, or just Horizon Dev. We'll put no-code. What are we selling? Okay, I already see one problem here. So this input needs to be bigger. So let's cancel that. Click Stop Listening, and then we'll go down to what are you selling, and we'll make it a text area, an additional text area as well. Now let's test it again and refill it out. And of course, the form is not working. Beautiful, so let's fill it out. All right, so I filled out the form. We have the company name of Horizon Dev. URL will be no-code. Here I have a prompt. We provide expert no-code automation development on an hourly basis to help entrepreneurs and small businesses streamline operations using N8N, Zapier, and Make. Whether you need workflow optimization, sales optimization, customer service enhancements, or complex API integrations, our experienced developers build reliable, production-ready automations tailored to your business. All of our developers are either an expert at Python or at JavaScript. We also have native English-speaking prompt engineers ready for all AI prompting. Then down here, I added 15 pain points. Now, I just threw this straight into ChatGPT and was like, generate me 15 pain points. I read through them real quick. They seem pretty good, so I went with them. And then I added here our Calendly link. So let's click Submit. And form was submitted, so we'll jump back over to N8N here. And let's pin this data right off the bat. Let's check it out. And it looks like we have everything we need to start prompting and building out our site the way we want. All right, now it's time to explain how we're going to do the prompting. So in order to do this, let's jump over to the GitHub account and take a quick look at the code. So here's the code that we created earlier. Let's jump into SRC. We're going to jump into components. And as you can see, we have 9 sections here. So ideally, we would have 9 different AIs, one generating the content for each section. If we click here on Pages and click on index.tsx, here we know exactly what we need for each section. For the hero section, we need a title, a highlighted text, a subtitle, a badge text, primary button text, trust text, some stats, and the hero image. Of course, I'm not going to mess too much with the images. I think they're pretty good. You can always swap them around as you need, or you could even evolve your prompt to include links for images in the form or however you want to do it. For this, I'm going to leave the images the same. I'm just changing the copy. Now in the problem section, as you can see, we have 3 different icons, titles, and descriptions. Now these icons are coming from Lucid React. So technically we could find other icons and have AI generate the icons. That being said, I think it's a little bit better just to use general icons and tell the AI, hey, this text is going to be under an icon that looks like this, and it will make text a little bit more related to the icon, but still related to the problem that we're trying to solve in the funnel. Once all of this is done, we're going to need to update a couple of other things. As you can see, there's no fav icon here, and this is Vite plus React plus TS. So we're going to have to change that title to reflect what it is we're actually trying to sell. So we'll update that as well, and then we'll be good to go. So let's get started here by creating our first AI to build the hero section. So I'm going to actually grab this code right here, and we're going to open up VS Code really quick. Now, the only reason why I opened up VS Code is so that I can see a little bit better what's going on inside of GitHub. It's all the text kind of the same. It's hard to read. Here, it's a lot easier to read. You don't have to necessarily do that. So I'm going to grab this part right here, and I'm going to see if I can just prompt the AI to make a JSON containing the information for these different prompts. So I say, can you make a JSON file to reflect the needed props for this component? And let's see what it does. It's pretty good. All right, change all text to say string. We have to remember that the stats has a very specific format, okay? But the rest of it looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and copy this. We're going to go require specific output format, click here, click structured output parser, and paste that in. And now we're ready to go. So we have a basic format of what we need. Now let's go into the prompt here. We're going to change to define below. We're going to paste that into. All right, so we don't need the hero image, so we can delete that. We can also delete it out of the structured output parser, just like that. And the rest I believe we need, right? All right, so now I'm taking the prompt here. We're gonna put here ... and then we're gonna tell the AI, finish the prompt after the ... and see what it says. Beautiful. So that prompt already looks a lot better. So let's go ahead and paste that in a little bit better. So I put, here's the company name, here's the product they were selling, here's the problem their customers have. Now let's go ahead and drop those in here, put that there, and we'll put additional info right there. Beautiful. So I believe that this prompt will probably be pretty good. So now let's go ahead and connect it to an Anthropic real quick. Beautiful. And we'll do the newest Sonnet version. It's a little bit better. Let's click test workflow and see what pops out. And something did pop out, so let's double click it and check it out. Transform your business with expert no-code automation. Stop wrestling with manual workflows, start scaling smarter. So this is pretty cool. It's already doing a pretty good job. 20 plus hours saved weekly. Honestly, stats are a lot higher than that. We've saved business owners thousands of hours across all their employees. That being said, I think it's pretty cool. Obviously, there's little tiny tweaks we might have to do here, but for AI generated section, I believe it's good. We should remove on button click. I don't think we need that there, so we can remove that. We can remove that from structured output parser here too. Other than that, let's just pop it in the section and see what it looks like, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy each of these and we're going to go over to GitHub and I'm just going to click edit and we're going to just paste them in one by one here and click commit and then see what it looks like on the site to make sure that it looks like it's jiving correctly with what it should be. So as you can see here, we changed this information to reflect the information right here. So let's click commit changes. Let's just say testing hero section, click commit changes, give it a moment. All right, so as you can see, our site automatically updated and part of it looks pretty good. The title is way too long, but the rest, honestly, it looks really, really good. Like, it's not that bad. Let's change the prompt to make the title, I believe, 4 to 6 words. As we can see here, we have the title and the highlighted text right here, and they make up the full title right here. So I believe we can just split those two into a smaller portion. So let's hop over to our prompt here. Let's open it up. So I told it the title and highlighted text are the same sentence and must be split. In total, both of them combined must be less than 5 words. Make the CTA button less than 2 words. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is because it looks a little long right here. Schedule your free consultation. It's like, I'd rather be like, schedule now or like book your call. I mean, something less, you know? So let's go ahead and try that out again and see what it comes up with. So let's click test step and we can see automate your business today. So let's grab that and let's just see what that looks like really quick to make sure that it's exactly what we want. So we'll go back here. We'll click edit right here. We'll select that, paste that in, automate your. We'll go back over here. We'll copy business today, highlighted text. We'll change it to business today. And then I just want to check the CTA here. Get started. I like that one much better. Get started. Sounds perfect. We'll leave the other text the same. The prompt is the same for all the rest, right? So let's click commit changes. Testing hero 2, click commit changes. Now, last time I deployed this, it took about 45 seconds to go live. Okay. All right, and it went live. Beautiful. So automate your business today. This looks beautiful. It's exactly what we're selling. Now let's go to the next section. Common challenges business face. Let's go ahead and create a new AI agent. Let's rename this one hero section. Beautiful. We'll go AI agent. We'll go common problems. Or let's just call it section 2. Probably be a little bit better like that. We're going to change it to define below and we're going to add an output parser, structured output parser, and we're going to do the same. So we're going to go down here. We're going to grab the problem section right here. Copy that. We'll go here. I told it, I need you to generate a JSON and a prompt for generating the information on these prompts. Do not include the icons. And so we have a beautiful JSON right here for the output parser. So let's copy that, go over here, we'll paste that in, and we'll copy this prompt, and we'll just see what it looks like. So the prompt that ChatGPT generated was, your task is to generate compelling copy for the problem section of a sales funnel. The section highlights the most pressing challenges business face, creating urgency and emotional engagement before introducing the solution. Each problem should have a concise, attention-grabbing title and a brief but impactful description that resonates with the target audience. The challenges should be common pain points to business experience, blah, blah, blah. And then the output format. That looks good. I'm just going to copy and paste the bottom part from the last one. So as you can see, we have these 4. Obviously, we're going to have to change it a little bit. Let's paste that there. And these aren't going to work. And I'll tell you why. Because they're mentioning the node previously and they're not mentioning the right node. So what we're going to do is on form submission. We're going to paste this in here. We're telling it to change the JSON references to reference the on form submission node. I don't like working. That's why we build automations, right? So I'd rather have the AI do it for me. Here we go. I'm not sure this will work. I have a feeling this won't work either. It looks like it did in fact work. I would have written it differently. That's okay. Doesn't matter. We're good to go. Let's just try it and see what happens. And we need to connect Claude. Okay, beautiful. Let's try it now. And it looks like we're good to go. So let's go ahead and copy and paste this into the section again and make sure it looks okay. So we'll go here and you can see we have title, description right here. And I can already tell you the description's a little long and the title's a little long as well. Because we can see it here. Title is maximum 3 words and the description is 1 sentence, right? So with that theme in mind, let's just change it now. All right, so I put some limitations on it. Said the problem subtitle should be max 3 words and their description should be max 1 sentence in length. The main title can be maximum of 4 words. So let's go ahead and try it again and see what happens. All right, so we've got the title, Business Growth Being Paralyzed. I don't really like that title. The rest, time slipping away, systems not talking, growth hitting walls. Honestly, I don't think this prompt is good enough, so let's upgrade it. All right, so all I did was I actually just removed the last sentence of this one and the last sentence of this one because I felt like they were influencing the output a little bit. And let's click test step and see what happens. Title, automation struggle, stop growth, time slips away, technical maze, confusion, growth hits walls. I think it's good enough. It could be a little bit better, but it's definitely not bad. So let's copy and paste it in and see what it looks like. So again, we click edit, we scroll down, we can see here, put the title right here. All right, so we copied it over. Let's commit those changes. And now we've got it. Automation struggle, stop growth. Time slips away, technical maze, confusion, growth hits walls. And I think it's pretty decent. So let's go ahead and move on to the next section, which is solving the 3 problems that we provided here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the response from the last AI and use it to influence the answer here because these should be solving these problems. So let's do that. We'll go back over here, scroll down to the solution section, paste it in. Tell it again we need a JSON and a prompt. And let's copy that over. Let's go back over here. I'm actually going to rename this to problem section. Beautiful. Now let's add one AI agent node. We'll go solution section, rename, requires specific output, add our output parser, paste that baby in there. Looks beautiful. Let's make sure we add Claude, jump in. Let's change this to define below. I'm telling it to modify the prompt to give solutions based on the 3 problems we provide. So let's copy that over, paste that in. You can also see here, let's copy that in. We'll paste this in here. All right, and we're going to remove the image here. We're going to do that also on the output parser. We don't need the image. Beautiful. And I'm telling it that the solutions should only be 1 sentence in length. And now let's provide the problems. Okay, and so we can grab this right here, this output, but I believe we need to stringify this. So let's copy this over, and the reason why is because you see this is a little box. That means it's an object. So when I put it in the prompt, it'll say object like this. and we don't want that. So we just tell it to stringify the thing. So I believe this one should work, and we paste that in here, and you can see it did work. And I need to put here are the problems, business solution information, and of course we're going to grab that from the on form submission, and let's go ahead and test that. See what happens. Title: transform your business with expert automation that just works. Trusted by entrepreneurs and SMBs to deliver reliable, scalable automation solutions that drive real results. I don't think so. I think the subtitle needs to be less than 3 words, less than 2 words, and the title needs to be less than 5. So let's make that here. All right, so I said the title needs to be less than 5 words, and the subtitle is a small badge and should be less than 3 words. Beautiful. Automate and scale fast. Expert solutions ready. We have our 3 problems, some stats, 93% client efficiency increase. Obviously, we don't usually get near that. 93% is absolutely insane. If you guys who automate out there can increase efficiency by 93%, you guys are going to be fucking billionaires, I promise you. That's not very realistic, but you know, we will change these statistics later, obviously. So let's copy it in and see what it looks like. I like the 95% success rate better. That sounds more realistic. That being said, let's go ahead and commit those changes. Put test solution section, commit changes. Give that about 45 seconds. Beautiful, and this is what it looks like. I think that these sentences are just a bit too long, and this I think could be a little bit longer actually. So let's modify the prompt just a little bit more. So we'll go here and we'll be the title needs to be less than 7 words. Subtitle is a small badge. Let's check that out. Wow. Okay, so this subtitle is not doing literally anything. Interesting. So let's just delete it. We don't need it. We'll just leave it alone. I thought it was that small badge up there. But our approach, I believe, is a good enough generic text to leave there. So not much worry about that. Let's go to structured output parser, delete the subtitle too. So the sentence had 19 words in it, so I'm going to limit it to 12. All right, so I said with a maximum of 12 words. So let's test it one more time. And they look a little bit better. So let's copy those in and paste that in, see what it looks like. All right, so we updated the site and it looks a lot better. One quick thing though is I realized that the text here was way too long. So I'm going to make that prompt real quick. Make sure the stats is less than 2 words. We'll do less than 3 words. It'll be better. We'll save that. Other than that, I think we're good to go. Also, guys, just so you know, if you ever are trying to refresh and you don't know what's going on and the site's not updating, you can always go here to your dynamic sales funnel in Vercel and double check. I forgot a comma and a quote. So I had 2 errors here, right here and right here. And so you can see it says right here, it's expecting this. This is because I missed a comma. And if we go back to this one, it says right here, there's an error. And as you can see, there was no quote. And there was no comma, right? So you can always check here to find errors about things. And then if you ever wanted to go back in code, just for you guys, if you go click on the code itself, you can click on the different commits and click on one that works. You can see these 2 didn't work because they have X's on them, right? If you click on one that did work, right, and you can see the original file and what was changed. And you can even click browse files here and look at the entire code history at that point of time. This is really good for troubleshooting stuff. So now I think you guys have a good understanding of how I'm building these prompts in order to generate the different sections. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of the prompts right now and then show you guys after. So stay tuned. So one thing I noticed after generating a few more sections is the AI is generating a bunch of fake statistics, which is going to be hard to kind of edit later. So I would like to just remove these sections. So I'm going to go ahead and check out the code here. Now I downloaded the code and I opened it in VL Studio. Here we can see that the 2 sections that have the most statistics are the operational issues and the market challenges section. So if we go to the market challenge section here and we check it out, we can see here that this is the HTML for the issue and it's checking to see if it exists. And if it does exist, then it displays this HTML. This right here is if this exists, right? So what this is telling me is that actually we don't need to change the code at all. We can just not include that, and it should just delete that from the HTML. And if we go to the operational issues as well, and we scroll down, we can see that it's the same. This double and sign just means that if this exists, then display this code in React and TypeScript. So what we can do is we can go over to our index and we can actually just delete the stats. You can delete this stat, make sure to delete the comma as well. Do the same here, delete the comma as well, delete this stat, delete the comma as well. That's market challenges, and we'll delete the impact like this. And then I believe if we click save and we push that to GitHub, click commit to main, push the origin, we should be good to go. And just so you guys know, if you go over to Vercel right here, we can actually watch it build in real time, and it's taking about 10 seconds to update the site, which is pretty beautiful. And it says it's ready, so let's go ahead and check it out. And we can see it did actually remove those statistics, which is beautiful. So we didn't have to modify any code, we just remove it from the variable on the front page and we're good to go. Alright, so I finished generating all the different sections. Here is what the N8N looks like. So in total, we have one node for each section right here. And here's what the website looks like with all of the AI generated content on it. Obviously, we're going to have to change the testimonials here, but for the most part, the website looks really good. This part right here, I actually didn't AI generate because I think it's pretty applicable for all the sales funnels that I need. You guys should think about that. If there are any static elements on the page that you think are pretty general and good, no matter what sales funnel you make, ideally, you should probably leave them alone because the AI sometimes will mess up, obviously. This will need to be proofread. However, honestly, it's really solid for an AI-generated website with all the content AI-generated. Now what we need to do is we need to make it to where I can just click a button and generate a new page. So since we have all of our prompts done, the last thing we're going to do right here is add our GitHub node. All right, so let's select an owner. We actually have to type this in. Beautiful. And then let's select a repository name, and we're looking for the dynamic sales funnel. Beautiful. And we're going to put the file path. So let's go ahead and check out the GitHub. And it looks like we're going to put it in src and pages. So let's go src / and then the name of the file. So in order to make the name of the file, we're going to go all the way back to on-form submission. We're going to grab the URL, we're going to drop it, and then we're going to put .tsx at the end, and that'll be the name of the file. And then the file content. Now this is where things get kind of hard. Not really hard, but it's going to take a minute. What we're going to do is we're going to copy the HTML from the index page. So the main page that we just were editing. So let's copy the whole thing. We'll go back here. We'll paste it in there. But let's go ahead and get started by first adding the title right here. We'll go over to the hero section here, and we'll just grab that title and we'll drag and drop it in. And we can see here, automate your. Beautiful. And then the highlighted text, business today. We'll do the subtitle here, badge text, primary button text. We'll leave that on click alone. All right, so we've come across our first problem, and it was right here. And so I'm going to explain how I solved this by solving this one. But basically what's happening here is every time N8N sees these two curly braces, it wants to turn it into some sort of JavaScript code, right? Like this. Except for this doesn't exist in JavaScript. So it throws up an error and says invalid syntax. So what we need to do is we need to format it in a way that N8N is like, okay, this is actually not JavaScript, but I accept it the way it is, and then passes it over to the React so React can understand it the right way, okay? So the way I'm doing this is I'm actually adding two curly braces like this, right? And then I'm adding two tilde keys. And what we're doing here is we're going to, within that, we can copy from here, stats, basically copy all the way up to the value that we want to add. So we can go stats, value like this, which looks beautiful. So we can delete all the way up to here. Now we need the actual number. So the actual number is right here. So we're going to drag that and drop that there. But we don't want it a line below. We want it on the same line. So you just click backspace, just like that. And we can actually close this up too. It doesn't need to be on two different lines. And then we can delete this here, and that should be good. We'll delete that too, the label all the way back, space. And then we have to add the new variable that we have, which is here. So we can put the label inside the quotes, backspace out, and we have an ending double quotes, and we're good to go. So you see how we had to escape this first line so it doesn't count these double quotes, and then we had to add in the variables here. I know that's a little bit complicated, but now you guys fully understand what it is we're looking for, and as you can see here, it ends up looking perfectly. So we can actually backspace this twice, and you'll see that on the React side, it looks like it has proper syntax. However, on the N8N side, it looks like a huge mess, but that's okay. So I'm going to show you how to do it one more time with this section. So now with this section, we're actually not changing anything. So it makes it a little bit easier. All we have to do is escape these first two characters. So I can do two brackets just like that. I can add this here and I can put that right there. And we're good to go. That fixes that portion of the code. Now we have to add the title. This is from the problem section. Things get a little bit easier here. So we'll scroll up to the title of the problem section. Beautiful. Now let's start adding the problems. We got the first title, the first description. We have the second title, the second description, and again the third title and the third description. Beautiful. And it's looking quite good. Looks like we're formatted correctly for now. So let's continue. Now we've got the solution section. So let's do the title, the subtitle. Oh, I believe we figured out that this subtitle doesn't do anything. So we can just remove that. Then we have solutions, solution 0, solution 1, and solution 2. And now we have another problem right here. Now with this image one, we're not changing it, so this one's a little bit easier. I can just, again, escape it, double quotes, and it fixes this right here. These stats, however, we do need, so we're going to do the same again. We can just copy this up here, paste it down there, and it fixes it for the most part. Now we got to change the value of the stat, so we'll go 85% here, and then we'll go over here, and we'll put our label. Now we're on to the mid-page CTA, so we need our title and our subtitle, and then the CTA button. Now again, we have to escape this, so we can just go up here, we can copy this, paste it right here, and it fixed it. So now we can go into this text and the subtext. Beautiful. Now we have the market challenges section. We're getting close to being finished. So let's do title, subtitle. Beautiful. So we finished the market challenge section just like this. We're looking good so far. Let's go down to the next section, operational issues. Now we have the social proof section. Now quick thing, for the social proof section, we want to make sure that this alt is also the same as the name of the person. So we want to actually put that twice. We want to put the name here and here, okay? Of course, we're going to change this later, but I just want to make sure that we do a good job, so let's do it. Now we're on to the FAQ section, and we can see that there are two small issues here that we're going to have to fix. Let's go from the top down to title and subtitle. All right, and let's escape this. So remember, all we have to do is put double curly braces, double tilde, grab this right here, and put it inside. And we're good to go. And we can do the same copy and paste right there, and we're good to go. That's all fixed. Don't need to change any of this. Now we're on to the questions and answers. All right, and now we're on to the last section, finally the Calendly section. So we want to change here the title, the subtitle, change our badge text, and then we have to also add the Calendly URL. So we're grabbing that from the form and we're grabbing it right here, Calendly link. Let's go ahead and drag and drop that. I think we're good to go. I double checked it. I don't think there's a lot of syntax errors. In fact, there should be none. This should just work. Let me save this because that was a lot of coding. So we're doing a quick save and we have some sort of error here. Commit message. We'll just say new page. Okay. Now it's time to see if it works. I hope it works. I really do. Let's click test step. And it did add the file to GitHub. Let's go to GitHub and let's make sure the file's there. So let's go back to the code and it says we made a new page. Let's click, we'll go into pages, and we have nocode.tsx. We have some beautiful looking React here. Let's check out our Vercel and it says it was already done. So let's refresh the page. And actually we have to now go to /no-code, no-code, and it didn't find it. Interesting. All right, so we actually had not really anything wrong with our code. It was more something to do with Vercel that I didn't really anticipate. And the way I found this out was I actually started running it on localhost. I did that by going npm space I and then npm space run space dev. I checked it out on localhost and it worked just fine. I was like, so it's not working on the server, but it's working on localhost. Then I went over to ChatGPT and I copy and pasted the routes.tsx and I told it, I'm like, hey, I'm using Vercel with Vite. And you know it's Vite because here it says Vite, right? Vite version 5.4.8. Like, here are my routes.tsx. Why is it not working? And ChatGPT responded, as it always does. Wonderful ChatGPT. And it basically said, yo, your setup is dynamically generating routes, which is exactly what we're doing. And it said that I need to add a vercel.json file, which I did. And I added it right here. Right here, I added it. Vercel.json, exactly the same. And then it said that I had to change my vite.config.js. So I went in there and I changed that. And then I clicked commit. And then voila, we're working. It's beautiful. And it's deployed. So, and I noticed that there was a problem right here too. So I went ahead and fixed that. That was me, my bad, doing a wrong error. But the rest of it looks pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change this icon and change this title because I think they look like crap. And then we're going to generate a page from scratch and just see what happens. And I'm excited, so let's do it. So in order to change this text up here, we actually need to jump in here. We need to go to index.html, and we can see it right here, Vite plus React plus TS. And change that to our name, Horizon Dev, which is beautiful. In order for the fav icon to work, all we have to do is make a folder called public, put our icon in there, and then add this one line of code right here, which essentially replaces the Vite code. Now it can be an SVG or a PNG as well. I recommend an ICO file. Then we change the title. So let's go ahead and go to GitHub Desktop, which is right here. Let's commit that, commit to main, push origin. Let's see what it looks like. And as we can see, the fav icon is updated on this URL, which is beautiful. So now let's generate a new page and see what comes out. So we're going to unpin this data, going to save. I'm actually going to refresh the page real quick and I'm going to click test workflow. It's going to bring up our stuff. Let's put the company name. Let's put a new URL. All right, so I generated some quick information. We're doing premium automation solutions for SMBs using no-code platforms like N8N, Zapier, and Make with custom Python JavaScript. We want to eliminate manual time-consuming tasks. Then I took this and I said generate more information and expand on a couple pain points. So let's click submit. Let's watch it go. Where is it? It's there. It takes a while to go through all these AIs, but I mean, AI generating a sales funnel in less than 2 minutes honestly is not that bad. All right, so it pushed to GitHub. So let's see what it does on the Vercel side. It says it's building. This is exciting. And it says it's ready. So now we can go /automation. And here's our brand new AI generated sales funnel page. Wow, transform your SMB with powerful no-code automation solutions that cut costs and save hundreds of hours monthly. That's exactly what we do. Start free, 100 plus businesses automated. That's true. Join companies saving 40 plus hours a week with our solutions. That's true. 85% average time saved. That's not true. Depends on the business. Yeah, honestly, this is looking really good. I'm happy about this. I hope that this video helped you guys out. If you guys would like some more support, I am hosting a free community, so please be sure to check out the link down below, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.